We were just talking about how much we like the word darling and how it's sort of retro, but sort of cool at the same time.
That was the goal.
Yeah, it's great. We were reading about you and you were sort of like in the industry modeling.
Yeah, it just really was crazy to be on the inside and see how that industry works. I'm really grateful that it has improved, and hopefully Darlene's been a part of that. But just going into auditions and seeing every single person there looks exactly the same as you, and you fill out this paperwork that is the measurement of your wrist and your elbow and your arm and your neck and your thighs. It's just so bizarre. And so I just started to see how messed up it was that I was 25 years old in catalogs for 60-year-old women, and I was being retouched, so I already knew the industry wasn't great, but it was seeing that really sparked the conversation.
Wait, I want to understand. You were 25 in catalogs for people in their 60s, and at that point they were retouching you?
Oh yeah, retouching me all the time. I swear some of them, but I just thought, this is really messed up. This is a vicious cycle and a really narrow definition of beauty. And so that was where some of the conversations for Darlene started with my best friend Kelly. We said, what if we make a magazine that has all sizes of women, and then maybe we don't retouch them and we talk about real topics, instead of a group of editors in a room making up stories, let's talk about things we've been through, like anxiety and depression, and then we'll pull in other women who have wisdom in other areas and get them to speak to that too. So the idea of pulling from actual wisdom that people have to speak into issues versus creating all these salacious headlines that don't really serve anyone and make everyone feel terrible after they've read the magazine. So that's really where all of that came from. And once I started doing the magazine, I started casting models from the same agency that I was with, and then the agents loved it and started working with us. So it kind of came full circle and redeemed itself a little bit.
That's so great. Okay, so you have the dreamer, the achiever, the hostess, the beautician, the confidant, the explorer, the stylist, the intellectual. And I was wondering how you came up with those and which you are.
Oh, I love that question. So in the beginning, we started talking about, the diversity of beauty, not only physically with women, but also like intellectually, through personality. And so it represents all the different hats that women wear. So essentially we're all of them. But I think the one that I definitely identify the most with is probably the dreamer. I think that I function from a lot of my mind and creativity and just, existential thoughts, and just being in that space of thinking about the world and the purpose of life and what will inspire people. I'm kind of dreamy in general as a person. So I would say that's my strongest persona.
Do you have a spiritual practice?
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely a spiritual person. I think my faith really guides me, and I really spend time every morning praying and journaling and just trying to submit my life, and realize that I'm not in control. So and that is an element of the dreamer too, is just spirituality and realizing that, we're so much more than our bodies,
Yes, most definitely.
How have you seen yourself grow or evolve over the past 10 years?
Just a lot. I mean, being an entrepreneur is really tough. I always tell people, you have really thick skin to do it, and you have to be really resilient. I think in the beginning I was very dreamy and optimistic. Everybody's saying, why are you starting a print magazine? Print is gonna die. That's the future. And
you have deadlines constantly. Why do that to yourself?
Exactly. But so many people, discourage you. And so it's when you have setbacks. I think I've just really, really learned that, you're going to make so many mistakes just as a person who's trying to lead anyone or anything. And I've made so many mistakes. And I think I really used to beat myself up over that a lot, and just having a lot of people in my life mentoring me and helping me through, what does it look like to be a leader and realize that you fail at business, you make mistakes. Like, what does it look like to, to quote my business coach, she always says to have unconditional positive regard for yourself, no matter what you do. And that idea of that unconditional love for yourself and for others, having it for yourself first makes you a more gracious person towards others. And so I think I've really had to learn that, and growing in that really helps you face so many different things.
A lot of people at this point, I think, are changing careers or retiring or looking for something that it gives their heart joy. And so is there any advice that you might give someone starting out on a journey like maybe yours? Or
Yeah, first of all, I would say you're never too old to start anything. I think that realizing what your passion is and just being really clear about it, and whether it's something that you should actually start or if someone's already doing what you're doing and you should join them. That's a good first question too, because being a founder is a lot of work. It depends on if you're up for it. But I would say that the first thing that we did with Darling is write the mission statement that I'm sure you've read, and it's
love it.
Thank you. It's one of our most viral things. It's our best-selling product above anything that we've ever sold, even the magazine. It's just people buying a print of that. And we spent 6 months writing it, my friend and I, and just being really intentional about what is your vision and being really honest with yourself about what is the problem that you're solving. And I always say it's what is your why, doing the why, the what, and the how, and in what order you do that, and really starting with the why and getting that so clear and asking other people about it. Do you think this is something the world needs? Like, why are we doing this? What's the reason? What's the problem we're solving? And then you go to the what and the how the product or the manifesto is executed in the world. And that's just a really good exercise to be like, do I really like this? Would I have sustained passion for this for years? Would I be able to raise money for this? Would I be able to continue doing this? And I'm very surprised about how many people don't have a clear vision about what they're doing, where I'm like, tell me in one line what you're doing. They're like, I'm like, if you were in an elevator with me, what would you say in 3 sentences? I ask questions like if I said, well, why are you doing it? Or who are your competitors? So just having those on the tip of your tongue to create is really, that's my best advice, because I think that starts you on a trajectory, and then you can start to find out what are the things you need to do in order to support that mission to make it happen.
Your wisdom is it's timeless, hence wisdom. So I thank you for that. And you're just so beautiful inside and out. And we at Inside Wink, it's all about what's going on within you that you're expressing in the outer world. And you're doing it. And we're so impressed and appreciative of everything.
Thank you. I'm honored.